You have a gift to see in the invisible world. You have a gift to see inside of people, to pray for them. And last night, I asked you to look inside of me, and you saw what was going on, and you prayed, and I believe, and you believe, that I was healed. You also can look in a room and you can see what's going on. I mean, to me, there's no guesswork there. I like it that way. I guess I have to have more faith than you. You died on the table. What memory do you have of what happened when you left your body?
The memory was heaven, and I knew exactly where I was.
You mean you like instantly left your body and you were in heaven?
Yeah, there was no in between. It was instantly. And I knew where I was. That was the amazing thing.
What were the first things that you saw?
Well, one thing, there was light everywhere. I mean, it's like walking into a well-lit auditorium. Light everywhere, and I walked up to this table. That was, I'm calling it a table because no better term. I walked up to this table and asked the person, I'm ready to go in. And there's a big book on this table. It was looking at the book, my name wasn't there.
Oh no.
Really? That's what I thought. I said, have I been deceived all these years? And it came about that I raised such a ruckus. Now, this is hard to believe. A ruckus with an angel in heaven.
Well, listen, I would have raised a ruckus too. How about you? You would have raised a ruckus too. He can't get into heaven. Would you like to find out why? I know you do. Don't go away, but I'll tell you, Ron, there were people on earth that were praying for you. Tell me about that.
There was a lot of what I'm calling confusion in heaven. I had it thought of as a quiet, serene, beautiful place. And when I got there, there's a lot of noise, like walking into a large auditorium at one time. A large auditorium, hearing everybody talk at one time. And I didn't understand what it was. And the person behind this desk, behind this desk, asked me.
I think you asked them, what is all this noise?
Yeah. And this person behind the desk says, don't you know? I said, no, I don't. Tell me what it is. These were all intercessory prayers coming up on my behalf. So
all the noise that you were hearing were people praying for you to not die.
Yeah, right. Really. And in disbelief, I said, you got to be kidding me. I don't know this many people. And the person behind the desk said, would you like to hear one? A prayer was drawn out. I was drawn to it, basically. And I heard every word that man was praying. And it was verified because I think 2 Sundays before, they had started recording their messages, and it was all on tape.
And so when you heard it, it was word for word. Actually, as I understand it from the book, you said the prayer and then you listened to it. Is that what happened, Glenda?
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. So Mabry Kane, our friend, said, well, we prayed for you a lot of times. I don't remember a particular time. So Ron explained again, said the prayer, quoted him the exact phrase, which was a unique phrase. And then they found the tape and it matched exactly.
Now, you had so many wonderful experiences in heaven. One had to do with, you had a stillborn baby. Tell me about that.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Ron relives his testimony, his story, every time we were asked to share it, and that's a very difficult part. He heard children's voices, and one child's voice was drawn out above the others. And he tried to walk near to this barrier where he could not pass through. He could not see the children. He could hear them playing, as if playing in water, a stream. They sounded very happy. But you immediately knew that voice drawn out was our son Jason. And as you walked toward the wall or the barrier,
this very large, authoritative angel stood in my way, put his hand over my face. It was a large hand because it covered my entire face. He said, "He's fine, he's taken care of, now move back." And I did. I moved back to the table where my name wasn't in the book. I moved back to that table.
And Glenda, the thing, his story, that was just an overwhelming story about the children in heaven.
Right. The next scene Ron was aware of were many thousands of people walking in the same direction as a corridor of people. And Ron looked ahead to see where were they going. And Jesus was there, seeming to receive them. But the majority of the people were children of all sizes and ages, with adults sprinkled through the crowd. But you also saw children carrying something in their hands.
And what these children were carrying were other children. And what I saw was not other children. I saw a miniature adult in their hands. What these children would have come out, become if they had not been aborted or stillborn.
Ron, you made eye contact with a young man in heaven. Tell me about that. It was very significant.
This young man, almost in a mischievous way, said, "I made it, I made it, I made it." And you didn't. And
as he was walking along in the crowd,
and
he made eye contact.
He walked up to the Lord. Now, the Lord was there. He passed through the Lord into heaven. And the Bible just came alive, because I said the only way to enter heaven is to enter through Jesus Christ himself. That's the only way.
And the Lord, what did the Lord tell you about this young man?
He said,
two words.
Two words. Remember this. I thought I was supposed to remember that young man, and I would never forget him. I still don't, to this day.
But there was a reason that Jesus said that, and it's so amazing. Don't go away.
Several years later, we were at a Bible study, and there were two couples that had to travel an hour away to lead this particular study. They were bringing a video they had experienced, and they were coming from another church. And during the course of this, they asked us to pray for a young man in their church who was dying with kidney failure. And so week to week, they said, "Would you please pray for Scotty Hennigan?" And then when week came, and they said, "Well, we had Scotty's funeral this week. No need to pray for him anymore." And they said it in such a joyful way, we all just were taken back. Well, this is not good, but they seemed happy. Well, they said, "You should see the difference in his mother. She gave him to the Lord. Scotty was ready to go. He was a brilliant Christian to start with. At any rate, we want Carolyn to come meet you, to come meet our group." Several weeks later, Carolyn Hennigan came. And after the meeting, Ron went over to her and you said, "I don't know why I asked, but did you bring a picture of Scotty?" And Carolyn said, "Well, I normally don't carry a picture with me, but I went back into the house tonight to bring this." And she reached down into a large bag and pulled out a framed 8x10 of Scotty and showed Ron. And the next thing I knew, Ron dropped to his knees in front of her, just collapsed, and said, "That's the young man I saw entering heaven." You had no doubt whatsoever it was him. And the picture she pulled out was a recent picture of him. He did not look ill in this picture. In the picture, he is 21 years old, just as Ron saw him entering. And she was not surprised that her son was in heaven, but it was such a comfort and a delight to know that someone witnessed it.